This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Crowds are building at events across the state as Tasmania prepares to bring in the new year. Emergency services are also preparing for a big night, with police on the beat and paramedics ramping up for one of their busiest nights of the year.
Loading up the big guns, pyrotechnic specialists are putting the finishing touches on Hobart's fireworks display.
So we're on the final touches now. Behind me, they're just getting the cabling done, the testing done. We'll head out late this afternoon and put barges in position and get ready for tonight's big shows.
It's promised to be the biggest yet, with 10-minute displays at 9:30 and midnight. And while it might not be as huge as some interstate shows, specialists say the layout of the harbour means more powerful fireworks can be used.
The size calibre that you can use is based on the size space you have, which you've got this great big Sullivan's Cove, so we've got a lot of room and space to shoot big shells. The
skies will light up on the northwest coast, with Devonport's Glow in the Park and Burnie's A Night on the Terrace. Royal Park is the hive of activity in Launceston, with 7,000 people expected.
Good times. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful night. A little bit windy today, but the wind's dying down. So it should be great for the fireworks, which will happen right over here somewhere.
Revellers at Falls Festival will bring in the new year with Peking duck.
I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say it's going to be a visually spectacular show. And I think if anybody knows anything about their live performances, there's something to be amazed at.
But wherever you're celebrating, police are urging people to enjoy the night, but not to ruin someone else's. And be careful if driving tomorrow morning.
That's always a trap for people. You don't realise after a sleep how slowly your body can metabolise alcohol. So please be aware the next day if you've had quite a few drinks the night before.
Ambulance Tasmania has rostered on extra crews for what's usually one of the busiest nights of the year.
We see quite a dramatic increase in that party-style calls, so drug or alcohol-related incidents, people falling over and hurting themselves, hopefully not, but maybe assaults and work like that.
And for more on the New Year celebrations, we cross live to Michael Breen on the Hobart waterfront. Hello, Michael. How's it shaping up down there?
Well, Rachel, the gates have just opened up here and people are rushing in to get to their seats. The Whitlams are the big headliners tonight. They're part of a big lineup of music across 4 stages. We heard their sound check a bit earlier and a sneak peek. They told us they'll be playing Blow Up the Pokies, a bit of a political message to their Tasmanian friends. Of course, transport will be a big hassle for a lot of people tonight. Metro is running $2 night rider services in Hobart, Launceston and Burnie, but it's kicking off here and it's certainly going to be a big night, Rachel.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it will be. You take care and enjoy yourself. Thank you for that, Michael. Well, the Falls Festival at Marion Bay has been marred by 2 reports of sexual assaults. Police say a 19-year-old woman was sexually assaulted by an unknown man in the mosh pit on Friday night. Officers also investigated a second complaint with a young woman reporting an incident in the camping area last night, but she declined to follow up formally.
Our message is certainly to look after each other, to look after your friends, and if something does happen, don't hesitate to report to police straight away because we're not going to put up with it.
Police are calling for witnesses to come forward. A man remains in an induced coma at the Royal Hobart Hospital following a motorcycle crash in Pyengana yesterday afternoon. Police say the 47-year-old from Bicheno lost control of his motorbike while attempting to overtake a camper van. This has prompted police to again reiterate their safety messages, especially ahead of the New Year celebrations.
But the main message for today is to make sure that people get home safely from the New Year's Eve festivities. Plan your trip, make sure that you have a contingency in place if you are out drinking and you don't drive.
Police will be out in full force tonight as part of their safety road blitz, Operation Crossroads. New Year's Eve celebrations have started early for 10 Tasmanians, sharing a win of $1.4 million. The winners were part of a Claremont Lucky Lotto syndicate in Tats Lotto's $30 million mega draw last night. The pool was split 21 ways across the country, with another mystery Tasmanian winner yet to claim their ticket, bought from the West Ulverston News Agency. One very special lady has added to more than a century of New Year's Eve memories, with Irene Martin celebrating her 107th birthday today, surrounded by 5 generations of family members.
She's very humble. She still, despite her remarkable age, helps other residents in the dining room. She'll make sure that those who are struggling get help from the nurses and care staff. And she almost never asks for anything. So she's a remarkably independent lady.
Born and raised in Hobart, Irene now has 13 great-grandchildren and credits her amazing innings to hard work, determination and a strong heart. And just for the record, she still enjoys a regular game of rummy with her mates. Now to the last of our three-part series analysing our political leaders in the final year before the state election. Tonight, state political reporter Jacqueline Robson speaks with the Premier Will Hodgman, the man with the most to lose.
It could be the last time the Liberal Premier sits in the Executive Office. Will Hodgman has just 3 months before Tasmanians cast their vote. Reflecting on a first term in office, he says the government has achieved its 2014 election commitments.
We've done what we promised and got the budget back under control. Our economy's strong again and we're strengthening our health and education systems and better supporting Tasmanians in need and reducing the cost of living.
Pointing to his most significant first-term achievement, the education reforms.
It will literally lift Tasmania's productivity levels but give every young Tasmanian the same opportunities as kids interstate.
This year the government struggled with its legislation. A Taswater takeover, tougher sentencing laws and changes in forestry all rejected by the upper house. The Premier denying it's an arrogant legislative agenda.
If people were wondering about our willingness to take on difficult issues and to perhaps ruffle some feathers, if you look at the Taswater debate, we said that we wanted to fix the problem sooner. We had a plan to do that. Yes, it wasn't popular with every quarter, particularly local government, but we did what we thought was in the best interests of the state.
Whether Will Hodgman gets the opportunity to achieve that vision will be decided in March. Support for the Liberals remains steady, while its leader, who reigned popular for so long, is now trailing his opponent.
It shouldn't be about a popularity contest. It should be an election that chooses whether people want to continue the direction we're heading in or literally change the direction by changing the government. And that would be a minority government.
So in a stalemate of Labor and Liberal both saying they won't do a deal, will you step down to allow a minority Liberal government?
There will be no such thing, whether it's me or anyone else leading the Liberal Party, because Labor and the Greens will just instinctively revert to type, and that's a coalition.
1 year ending before a busy start to 2018 for a Premier hoping to remain.
I'd love some time with my family and just to refresh, and I hope that 2018 is, as I expect it will be, an even better year for our state.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
A group of athletes have finished off the year breaking a sweat for a good cause. The race to the taste set off from the Hobart Domain, weaving down Davies Street and the waterfront to finish up at the Taste of Tasmania. This year, the event raised funds for the Brain Injury Association of Tasmania.
So that'll go towards brain injury prevention and education programs, specifically for young people. OVA has quite a number of young members, so it's a good synergy between the two organisations.
In the 6 kilometre, Grant Page was first across the line and Mel Daniels took out the women's.
Cricket fans in the north have turned out in force, with nearly 17,000 people packing UTAS Stadium for last night's Big Bash clash between the Hurricanes and the Thunder. But it wasn't the result the home crowd were after, as the Thunder cruised to victory.
The man of the match set the tone early for the Thunder.
Goes on and hits it sweetly. That's a great start.
Tom Rogers couldn't catch a trick with the ball.
Straight back down the ground. 3 boundaries to finish the over.
The Canes skipper ensured Patterson wouldn't do any more damage, taking one of the grabs of the tournament.
Absolutely brilliant catch by George Bailey.
Shane Watson was at his devastating best, but even he couldn't outdo the man of the moment.
That is even bigger. That's huge by Butler. 4th for the over. Where's that gone? Oh, that is into the Tamar June.
Butler's night finally brought to an end on 67 thanks to a Clive Rose special. A frustrated Watson, the next to fall, before Rose broke through for another. But the Thunder were well and truly on their way, setting the Canes 167 for victory. Alex Doolan looked dangerous early, as Darcy Short gave the locals something to cheer about.
Short goes long. Over the rope.
But celebrations were short-lived.
Hold him! The Viking!
And when Ben McDermott came unstuck on 4, the Thunder smelt blood. Bailey and Wade lasting just 6 balls, and the Canes' fate was sealed. Archer refusing to go without a fight, salvaging some final pieces of pride before the visitors cleaned up the last of the order to take the 57-run win.
Meantime, the state's WBBL side will have some serious soul-searching to do in the new year, with the Thunder once again making easy work of the Hurricanes at UTAS Stadium today. Only one of the Canes' order was able to notch up more than 20 runs before a lacklustre performance with the ball saw Sydney clinch victory with plenty of overs and wickets to spare.
None for 6 is the score.
A change to the order saw Hayley Matthews and Steph DeFara opening, but just as the move looked to be paying off, Matthews was sent packing. DeFara wouldn't prove such an easy ask for the Thunder attack as skipper Corinne Hall's bad run with the bat continued. DeFara eventually falling on 30, and from there the rest of the order went quiet. Redmayne lasting just 8 balls, with English international Lauren Winfield again failing to fire. The Canes unable to see out the 20 overs, all done for 97. Just as she did yesterday, Rachel Haynes came out swinging, an early scalp from Hayley Matthews providing a slight glimmer of hope, but the Thunder's top order were all class. Alex Blackwell top scoring with 43 as the visitors snatched victory with 5 overs and 8 wickets to spare.
Crowds were treated to a stellar performance from one of America's top track stars in Devonport last night, with Devon Allen blitzing the field in the 200 metres, while Tasmanian wood-chopping legend Amanda Beams got her revenge on US rival Martha King, claiming a world title in front of a huge North West Coast crowd.
30 years of soaring paid off.
Set, go! Coming down here now. It looks like a husband and wife. I think they might have got it. The Beamses, they cut fantastic.
Tears of joy as husband and wife Amanda and Dale Beams took out the Jack and Jill Soaring World Championship title.
It was special to win with this guy.
Special?
Yeah.
It was Rio Olympian Devon Allen's first crack at the Christmas carnivals, but the US track star looked right at home, dominating the field in the open 200-metre final.
How about a big round of applause for the back marker from scratch, Devon Allen?
I didn't want to come out here and lose, so I really had to push it.
While local Morgan Gaffney finished strong from the front marker to claim the women's 400-metre gift title.
I'm usually a 100, 200-metre runner, so I stepped it up tonight and, I was really happy with the result.
New South Wales runner Joshua Ralph proving too good in the men's, crossing the line in just over 47 seconds.
Josh Ralph going to win the Devonport gift.
I came down here with not many expectations, but just I really enjoy starting my season here. I started my season here last year, and it's the first gift carnival I've ever done, and had one of my most consistent seasons afterwards.
On the bike, a stunning performance from 19-year-old Kellen O'Brien saw him crowned Devonport Wheel champion.
He's coming up like a train. Look at Kellen O'Brien. He comes from straight. What a run, Kellen O'Brien.
I'm pretty puffed out, as you can tell, but I'm feeling over the moon. This is one of the biggest wheel races to get up for, and I'm so happy to take it out.
In the women's, a youngster from South Australia claimed the biggest victory of her riding career, upstaging the big-name locals Macy Stewart and Amy Cure.
It's really exciting to come out on the win, especially being in no man's land with a lap to go. It was very nerve-wracking indeed.
A great end to a carnival now ingrained in the city's DNA. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Well, regardless of whether or not he wins tomorrow night, Tasmanian sprinter Jack Hale is set to make history when he becomes the first runner in the Bernie Gift's 131-year history to start the race 1 metre behind the scratch marker. It follows Hale's impressive win in the Latrobe Gift a few days back, where he started from 0.5 metres. The 19-year-old will be out for redemption after finishing runner-up in Bernie 2 years ago. And there's a bit at stake, with $9,000 going to the winner and an anonymous local offering up an extra $1,000 if Hale can win it from -1 metres.
Good evening. The windy weather continued across the state today, but not enough to cool down the south of the state, with Hobart reaching 27 degrees. Launceston made it to 21, along with Burnie, and just 20 for Devonport. Friendly Beaches had the state's high today of 28, 25 for Grove, Bushy Park and St Helens, Maria Island 23, 21 at Wynyard, Lowhead, Lyawini, Flinders and King Islands all 19 and Strawn 18. The satellite shows extensive low-level cloud over the west and north of Tasmania. The Tasman Sea is mostly cloud-free except for a mid to high-level cloud band with some embedded thunderstorms. Low-level cloud can be seen on the close-up over the far north and west of the state. Mountain waves are over the west and south east. Tomorrow, a cold front is crossing Tasmania. A high is to the west of Perth, extending a ridge over southern Australia. To coastal waters now, winds 15 to 25 knots throughout the day, reaching 30 knots about the west and south. During the morning, seas 1 to 2 metres. A strong wind warning is current for southern and western coastal waters from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape, and a small craft wind alert is current for the southwest lakes. Tomorrow, Hobart can expect an afternoon shower or two, 22 degrees, 20 for Dover and 21 for Ouse, both also with a few showers. Launceston partly cloudy, 24, 22 in Devonport and 21 for Scottsdale, also partly cloudy. A cloudy 22 for Burnie, showers for Strawn 19 and a shower or two for Stanley 21. To the east coast, St Helens 26, partly cloudy, Swansea 24, a late shower or two, 25 for Ross. The UV is extreme 11s across the state. To Tuesday now, showers about the west and far south, extending to central and eastern districts during the afternoon, fine elsewhere. Wednesday, showers about the west and far south, fine elsewhere. And Thursday, more showers about the west and south, mainly fine elsewhere. And looking about the rest of the country now, a sunny 33 for Perth, Alice Springs, Canberra, Darwin and Melbourne, partly cloudy conditions, otherwise warm, and a shower or two and a possible storm for Brisbane, 31 degrees. Currently in Hobart, it's mostly clear, 22. Launceston, partly cloudy, 19. Devonport, partly cloudy and 17. And that's the weather for New Year's Eve. Have you got any resolutions for the new year, Rachel?
Not yet. Might decide on one after a glass of bubbles. Thanks for that, Carmen. Well, that's all your news for this, the last day of 2017. We leave you now with a look back at the year that was. From the entire team, have a happy new year and please stay safe. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.
Firefighters have been battling the Argonaut Road blaze since Tuesday, but around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, unexpected weather conditions created one of the worst possible situations.
Hundreds poured out onto Clifton Beach with their boards, those who were closest to Timmy Lawrence coming together to form a guard of honour. The single-engine Rotolift helicopter crashed by the side of Hobart Airport's runway after it was seen to be circling above the tarmac, then plunging 200 metres in a plume of smoke.
Nicole suffered burns to 50% of her body on Monday night when fire broke out in a backyard shed. Police allege her fiancé, Matthew Davey, doused her in a flammable liquid and set her alight.
We'll be alleging that a projectile has entered the right-hand rear passenger side of the vehicle, fragmented and struck the 11-year-old girl in the right side of her face.
These are pictures of Risdon Prison just moments ago. An incident broke out at the complex earlier today after prisoners refused to return to their cells.
Personal insults against North Korea's supreme leader, and at a rally in Alabama, Donald Trump typically doubled down.
Little Rocket Man, we're going to do it because we really have no choice.
Look at the building.
Interrupted by hatred. The band ran, but there was no respite for the crowd.
The most important people in this country are not the rich, the powerful, the famous, but those who run to confront the enemies of our civilization, while the rest of us are running away.
He lined those people up, he drove onto the footpath and he planted his foot and killed them. So he's the one I'm angry at.
15 seconds of Christmas carnage. The horrific moment Melbourne witnesses again, a vehicle being used as a weapon. Men, women, children, all sent flying or crushed under the wheels.
Medicinal marijuana has been legalised.
Victoria approves euthanasia.
A wish for them and death of their choosing.
Justice for victims of child sex abuse.
Her career now shot because she's a Scot.
There's so much more I wanted to do here, and I hope to get another chance to keep going at it.
The Prince and his princess-to-be. Hand in hand and happy to confirm they're getting married.
Congratulations from all of us. How are you both feeling? Go ahead.
That's 61.6% of clear responses were yes.
What a day. What a day for love, for equality, for respect. And the shadow of the day will embrace the
He's had a crash and Port is down. That's a horrible crash for Richie Ports.
Chance of a run out. Or an edge, there it is! Look at the Aussies!
The run of Stuart McSwain's life.
And she does it. Outstanding stuff from Ariane.
Playing for their first conference title in more than 2 decades, the reality just couldn't match the hype.
This is a real win for female football in Tasmania.
North Launceston claiming its 3rd premiership in 4 years with an 87-point win.
The Tigers